Greetings, greetings, and welcome to the A New Year, A New You workshop. I want to welcome those who are here, and it was my intention to have a wide variety of attendees. Unfortunately, it has not worked out that way. So I have decided to come live and to present the material. I have invited my moderators to join the conversation so I can at least get some questions in. One person had asked a question this morning from my morning broadcast on TikTok, and I have it on the notes here, and I will answer that question. So, I am Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson. I am a spiritual healer. I am your why and soul purpose coach, consultant, and mentor. For in excess of 30 plus years, I have been in the human development space. I started off as a life coach, and since then I have catapulted into different aspects of coaching, mainly resilience, transformation, empowerment, and spirituality. So I want to welcome whomever is joining, and please be sure to go in. Hey, Miss Ramona, thank you so very much for joining. And please have some questions that you can ask me afterwards. I have invited other moderators to come on, and I decide no one registered for the workshop. But I said this gives me an opportunity to honor my moderators by having them on this private workshop with me. So I hope that you guys will take advantage of it, ask some questions, because this is up close and personal, one-on-one with me, and one-on-one because you are in your home. So again, the title of the workshop is A New Year, A New You. So again, I just welcome those who will be listening. I thank Ramona Parker for joining. She is out of Houston, Texas. And again, I thank you so very much for coming. I want to ask a question. And I know it's only, I see two people here, one showing up in the chat. I hope the other person will show up in the chat. I would like for you to please answer this question and jot it in the comments so we can discuss it. What would you say your biggest problem or your biggest struggle is, which is holding you back? If you would pick one, because most times we have more than one. But for this argument tonight, which one would you say is your greatest? The one that struggles, that you struggle with most. You just can't go anywhere. It is really tugging at you. Welcome, welcome. I see three people. please sign into the comments section so you can write your comments. And if you're on Facebook, go ahead and write your comments because I will see it. I am going to start with the one that I hear a lot of times, very often. The biggest struggle and problem that I hear from folks that I have worked with over the years is that I don't have money to do what I need to get done. So as I wait to see someone post their struggle in the comment section, I want to go ahead and address the I don't have money struggle. The one thing we all know for sure is that money is energy. Money is energy. And the universe is by no means going through a recession. Although we as individuals are faced with challenges which prevents us from manifesting the things that we need to manifest. And that's why we oftentimes use that term that we don't have whatever the we don't have is. But for this conversation, we are talking about money. And it is a shame that when we look at doing for ourselves what it takes to elevate our situation, especially as women, we have excuses that we buy into to prevent us from moving forward. I'll tell you something about the men that I have worked with. I am yet to hear in 30 plus years, I am yet to hear a man say he doesn't have the money to invest in himself. So it is a woman issue. Because why? As women, we so often put everyone and everything else in front of our own needs. We put the church, we put the community, we put the children, we put the husband, spouse, or significant other, we put the community, the volunteering, the boards that we sit on, and the list goes on. We never ever put ourselves first. So go ahead and write what your struggles are as I discuss. Let me put this on so I can see. Okay. No one wrote anything yet. Go ahead and write. The question I ask is, what is your biggest struggle which is preventing you from moving forward? Welcome, welcome. I see 5 people. Please sign in so you can participate in the workshop by writing your comments in the comment section. If you're on YouTube, come on in. If you're on Facebook, come on in. If you're on LinkedIn, come on in. So, as I discuss that, I'm discussing it and ask the queens to please Now is the time to put yourself in the number one position. I want to encourage you to switch gears. Remove yourselves out of the seats that you have been sitting for so long. It's myself. I can't blame anyone else. Exactly. So, do for you. You deserve every little bit. So begin to honor yourselves. And I tell you, ladies, we can take a page out of the men's book, because I tell you, over the years, I've never had a man say to me, he doesn't have money to invest in himself. So, ladies, I will still watch out for what you put in the comments. Ramona says it is herself. She can't blame anybody. So I will watch for those questions or statements to come in, and we will address it. So the first question I asked was, what is the biggest struggle that's holding you back from moving forward? Okay, so thank you, Ramona, for adding that. So let us move into the first topic of discussion in the A New Year, New You workshop. Remember, this is a workshop. That means I expect your participation and your involvement. So please just don't sit by. Communicate, come in the comment box and communicate. All right? The first topic of discussion is another sensitive one, and that is self-love. Self-love. I could very well ask, what does that mean for you? When you hear the word self-love, what comes to mind? What does that word trigger for you? Is that a word that is welcoming to you? Or is it a word that gets you hot and bothered? Is it a word or a statement which gets your adrenaline pumping and pumping and pumping? Does that statement get you flushed in the face? What does that do for you? And I'm making that statement because it depends on your involvement. Well, welcome, Brandon. Biggest struggle is letting go. Yes, well, let us continue with that discussion. Thank you so much for coming and for sharing and participating. Letting go. Letting go can be another struggle for many of us. Letting go in relationships. Letting go of loved ones. Letting go of issues. Somebody has done you wrong, and this been 13 years, and you are still holding on to it.
I didn't understand that.
You're still holding on to that situation. The truth is that the person who has done you wrong, most times they have forgotten about what they have done. Yet you're losing sleep over it. Your blood pressure is elevated. You are downright stressed out about it. Everyone who will listen to you, you keep pouring energy into it and you keep telling everybody, oh, you know what Daphne did to me? Oh, did I tell you that Daphne this? And did I tell you that John that? Letting go is another challenging one. Let's address the point of letting go when we lose a loved one. And let's explore that, Brandon. Let you and I role play on that one. What do you think causes us not to let go of our loved ones? And Ramona and whomever else is here, let us role play. What do you think prevents us from letting go of our loved ones? And I'm not saying that we ought not to mourn in our own time span. There are no limits to mourning. But what is it that has us holding on to our loved ones? And those of us who are spiritual, we do understand what that means when we don't release our loved ones. So, Brandon, let's role play on that one. What do you think is causing that? And what do you think is happening to the loved ones that we don't let go? And feel welcome to chime into Ramona. Chime in as well. You know, I heard a woman said sometimes back, I asked her if she was traveling to go to the memorial service of someone. And she said no. And I was kind of surprised and I was taken back. And she said to me, Dr. Daphne, memorial services and funeral is for the living. And I paused and I thought about it. And she's right, because what? Our loved ones who are gone home, they're not there. And she said, I already made peace with so-and-so. I visited when he was sick. I told him what he meant and how my family appreciated him. So now, by me spending money to go and to travel there, she says, it was only for the people who are alive. And I'm going to move ahead because I don't see Brandon replying. So what I want to say, it takes time. Because what I know for sure is that by holding on to our loved ones and not letting go, we are causing turmoil to their spirit. And we need to let their spirit go so that it can go to a place of rest. So take your time. You don't have to be in a rush. And so long as you know you can always have the daily conversations with your loved one, you can say, such and such a person, I am letting you go, knowing that we can visit every day. We can laugh and talk just like we were. Because those of you who understand how our spirits work, we know that we can really do that. So thank you for sharing that, Brandon. So back to self-love. I know that for some people, it is challenging. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Whatever. One day this week, I was in conversation with a lady who consulted with me. Gorgeous woman. Beautiful, beautiful lady. She has a career, but yet she does not like or love who she is. And she could not tell when the last time she was able to look in the mirror and to say to the person looking back at her that I love you. She was not able to say that. Welcome, Alberta. I'm not sure who that is. So the question I'd asked before is, what's the biggest struggle that is holding you back? Okay, so you can go ahead and put that in there. So we are now talking about self-love, and I will move back and forth every time somebody puts something in. I will address it. So self-love. And self-love is more than going to do our toenails, our manicure, or our pedicure. Self-love goes much deeper. There are many women, and I can speak with women, I can speak boldly about this issue with women because I've worked with many women over my career. Women have issues with loving themselves in totality. Their boobs is not right. Their hips is wrong. Their lips is not right. And they find a whole host of things that's not right. I am yet to see a woman who looks in the mirror and appreciates what she sees. They look in the mirror and they say, oh, you compliment them on something and they say, oh, such and such is wrong. Embrace yourselves in totality. Love who you are. Many women are looking for spouses or significant others to love them and to share their life. Unfortunately, if you are not able to love yourself in totality, how would someone else love you and want to share your life. You got to accept and appreciate who you are in totality. Flaws and all, it doesn't matter. You are unique and you need to appreciate yourself. Embrace, honor yourself. You hate who you are, yet you're looking for somebody to come into your life and to love you and to let you be part of their life, maybe marry you. First, you got to love yourself. Honor yourself. Stand tall in who you are, regardless of whatever obstacles you may encounter. We all go through obstacles. We all go through challenges. Please do not allow your situation or your circumstances to define who you are. Use them as a ladder. Use them as a stepping stone to move into your next level. Every issue I have gone through, I use it as a stepping stone. I made sure I have learned from it. If I would be getting the chance again to start my life over, I would not want to change one single thing. Why? Because every experience I have encountered has taught me something. I might not like it, but I still swallow my saliva, brace myself, and say, hey, what's the lesson here? Let me swallow my pill. Let me learn my lesson so that I don't have to make the same mistake again. So take time to learn the lessons. Lessons does not always have to be negative. Experiences, does not necessarily has to be negative. So long as we decipher, break it apart, break it down. Greetings, greetings. How are you? Good evening, good evening. Let us break them down and learn the lessons. For those of you that are just joining, one of the questions I asked before was, what your biggest struggle that's holding you back? You can go ahead and jot it in here, and I will address it so we can discuss it. Now I'm just wrapping up self-love. So, ladies, queens, stop giving priority to outside love. Stop giving priority to the love of a mate or a companion. Begin to love yourself in totality. Why? Because it's only when you love yourself that you will attract others to love you. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Okay, so the next topic we are going to discuss is vulnerability. Oh boy. I know, again, I'm going back to the sisters. Vulnerability is another sensitive thing. I am telling you from a personal experience, vulnerability is the only way. Regardless of what we do, regardless of what we go through, our only way to healing is to be vulnerable. Vulnerability does not mean you walk and you just spread everything to everyone. Vulnerability means you find mentor and confidants, people who you can trust, because your story is yours. You're vulnerable to people who can elevate you, people who will not judge you, but people who will embrace you and help you to pivot into the next plateau. Vulnerability means you will go to that person and you tell them what went on or what's going on, and they'll say, listen, you got this. What's your plan? How can I assist you? How can I assist you? You, in turn, will tell that person where you need help. And they're going to say, listen, I got you. I got you. They are your safe haven. Too many people is out there and they are putting up a rock fence and they are hiding behind it because of their past experiences. Because of their past experiences, and they are living in guilt and shame. They are not moving because something happened for so long. It has become a burden for them. They are holding on. They can't make progress in their health and well-being, in their businesses or their careers, because they are walking around with a mental red dot in their forehead. And you know what that does for them? It have them living in judgment of others, feeling that other people are holding against them that experience that they went through. So if you're looking for true healing, it starts with your self-love, and then you need to be vulnerable to get the help that you want. Don't blame yourself. Every experience we have gone through, we did our best at the time with what we know how to do. If we knew better then, we would have done better. So stop blaming yourself. It's your time to move forward. It is your time to create a new you. Why? Because you deserve it. You deserve it. you deserve it. And you better start telling yourself that you deserve it, because not until you tell yourself will anyone begin to tell you. People are living in shame for so long. It hinders their health. It is damaging to our bodies in so many different ways. It messes up our, thank you, it messes up our mental health. You know that everybody, it doesn't matter who you know that everybody have gone through some stuff in their life. Do you know of anybody who has not gone through some stuff? We are on this social media platform, and if we listen, many of the people out there, I remember one of my coaches, she always says, make your mess your message. So the people who are making millions are the ones who has gone through some stuff and is willing to share their story. And you know what? There are people out there who is willing to help us. We spend so much time living in shame. So much time living in shame. And for that shame and embarrassment, we are not able to get the help that we want to lift us out of that darkness. Let us make a commitment today, ladies and gentlemen. Let us make the commitment today that no longer will I hold myself back because of shame. Because of shame and not wanting to be vulnerable, many people has placed themselves in imposter syndrome. Oh, because such and such happened to me, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not deserving of this. Oh, somebody else is better suited for that, not me. Imposter syndrome. Look into the mirror, ladies and gentlemen. Look into the mirror and ask the question of the person who is looking back at you. It all starts with loving yourself. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter your ethnicity. You deserve to love you. You deserve to be vulnerable about what has happened to you. And what are you looking to use that experience for? Gone are the days when you allow people to let you be shameful. Stop walking with your heads hung down. Raise your head high. Raise your shoulders tall and begin to honor yourself, regardless of what you have been through. So what? Who cares? Stand tall in your truth and you honor yourself. You got to do the work. You got to do the work, ladies and gentlemen. It is easier than we think. But the reason we are not getting the result, we refuse to even start. Regardless of what you can think that you have gone through, you're not the first one. And guess what? You won't be the last one either. You are not the first and you will not be the last. So get up, brush yourself off, and get into action. All right? So does anyone have any comments to add about what's holding you back? That was the first question I asked. What's holding you back? Then we went into self-love and done a vulnerability. All right. So let me scroll up. I don't think there is any I'm looking to see if there are any more thing that I missed. Okay, no, I did not miss anyone. However, when people come in, please, those of you that are there, you can ask them to write their comments in the chat. I'm not sure what those writings are. All right. I only communicate in English, hopefully. So the folks that are writing those letters, I really don't know what they mean. All right. So moving right along, let us look at another self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness. Lord knows, if we were only as willing to forgive ourselves like we are easy and willing to forgive others, we would not be having struggles with moving ahead with whatever else it is we have to do, may it be relationships or business. Does anyone here finds it difficult to forgive themselves? Please go ahead and write it in the comments. Write it in the chat and let me know whether or not you find it challenging to forgive yourselves. And if so, when is it more challenging to forgive yourselves? Come on through, guys. Help me out. Remember, it's a workshop. It's not a lecture. When do you find it most challenging to forgive yourselves? Anyone? Is it most challenging to forgive yourselves when you blame yourself and keep saying, damn, I should have known better. Hey, Queen, good to see you. Okay, let me back up a little. I had asked a question in the beginning, and seeing that you are just joining, I want to give you an opportunity to participate when it's going to hurt someone else. When it's going to hurt someone else. Wow. Hold on, Ramona. I'm going to discuss that, but I want to give Sonia an opportunity. If you have an answer for this, was the first question I asked. What is the biggest struggle you have that is holding you back? Yes. So, Ramona says, it is difficult to forgive yourself when it is going to hurt somebody else. You remember what we just talked about? And this just proved itself. We're talking about forgiving us, yet we are thinking, oh, it's going to hurt somebody else. And we have to think, well, who is more important? If you are forgiving yourselves for a situation, which should be more important? Your health and well-being or that of somebody else? And I'm not saying it out of prejudice or judgment, but that's what we do as women. We are always putting everyone first, getting out there in the medical field. I have my doubts because of the epidemic that's going around. So, the one question I would ask you, Queen Sonia, is what if the doctors and all of the frontline workers was worried about that? What would happen to the rest of us that need their service? So instead of preventing that from having you go into the field that you are so eager to enter into, why don't you think about asking yourself, what can I do to preserve my health? There would not be work. Exactly. We got to take risk. We got to take the risk and protect ourselves. You know, for the greater portion of my life, I work as a nurse. And there was never one day, even when I was working with infectious cases. And back in the day, when we're talking about infectious cases, they don't have a ward for themselves. You know what they have? They have a cubicle. I remember there was one bed at that window and one bed at that window. And that's where they put them. And they put 2 screens, folding screens. That's what they would put. And yes, we would have the gowns that we put on to go and attend to them. But when you become a medical worker, it's a commitment that you're making to humankind. And you got to honor your health and do what it takes to keep yourself and your family protected as you go out there to serve them. So address that. I'm not saying it's not scary, but I'm saying address the issues and work through it, because there is always going to be somebody having something. And as a phlebotomist, you are not even at half as risk as the people who are working in the ER. All right? So work on it, Queen. You got this. Let's go back to self-forgiveness. It is so easy to forgive others. If even in Ramona's feedback, it supports that. It's difficult for her to forgive herself when it is going to hurt somebody else. When it is going to hurt somebody else. It's difficult. And it takes time. But then the question I want to pose now, would we ever find ourselves in the situation when we are willing to forgive ourselves, or are we going to continue to blame ourselves for everything? Are we going to continue to judge ourselves? Are we going to continue to say, I deserve that? Somebody else deserves the forgiveness, not me. Because it's not the first time I messed up. I've messed up before. I've done it with John. I've done it with Joseph, Estella, Mary Jo. And you start naming the list of people who you have done something that was not appropriate with. You got to learn to put yourselves first. We have to learn to put ourselves first. And you know something? When it comes to self-forgiveness, even people in our families, they will not allow us to get a break because they keep throwing things up in our faces. And for that reason, every time we attempt to forgive ourselves for the shortcoming and the misfortune that happened 6 years ago, Susie, John is always bringing it up. So, as we work on self-forgiveness, there are certain folks that we will need to cut out of our lives. And be unapologetic about it. I don't know if you guys remember, somebody was on the live on TikTok. I think it was Monday. And we were talking about who had a good holiday. And this particular lady says, I stayed home in my bed because I didn't go anywhere, because my family started drama with me. So I stayed home. And I applaud her. Why? She took a stand for herself. She was protecting her mental state. So she let them go. and she stay home and address herself. How many of us would have done that? How many of us would have done that? No, we would have felt guilty. Oh, I can't do that. It's a holiday. I got to go. Self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness. What? It's not confession, girl. Self-forgiveness. Listen, there are some folks, you made a mistake in your intimate life and you're still blaming yourself for it. Let it go so you can prosper. Let it go so you can rise up. Let it go so you can stand in all of who you're called to be. Again, at that time, you did what you know how to do, to the best of your knowledge. You could not have handled it any other way. So far we talked about self-love. We talk about what's the biggest issue that's holding you back from moving ahead. We talk about vulnerability, what it is, how to embrace it. It doesn't matter what you have gone through. Shame has no place in your life. Guilt has no place in your life. Stand tall, hold your head high. And we are now talking about self-forgiveness. So let me throw it out there. What are some things that you can do to honor yourself, to forgive yourselves? What are some things that you can do? Please go ahead and jot it in the comments. What are some things you can do to forgive yourselves? Come on through, guys. Come on through. Listen, this is just us as family here. This is not, people will be able to watch it, but this was just for my moderators and folks. So go ahead. What are some things we can do to practice self-forgiveness? One of the things we can do is to journal. We can journal about the issue and we can state our forgiveness in that. And depending on what it is, after we finish journal about it, we can burn it and let it go. Hey, Ruth, how are you? Speak positive words over our lives and mean it. Exactly. Speak positive words. That was going to be my next one. Affirmation. So you look in that mirror and you tell the person looking back at you exactly how you feel in a positive way. And as my sister says, and mean it. Mean it. Don't be fake about it. One thing I do yearly, I write things down that hurt me or I can't forgive myself for. I have burnt party and release it to the world. Exactly. And flush the ash down the toilet. Let it go with the sewage. Yes, realistic goals for ourselves and then celebrate. Yes, regardless of what you have gone through, you can turn that thing around. Regardless of what's been holding you back, you can turn that baby around. You forgive yourself and say, listen, this is my time to blossom. This is my time to forgive me. I've been holding me back for way too long. This is my month. This is my day. This is my week. This is my hour. And you know what? No one can take that away from me. No one. This is my time. I'm living it to the fullest. To heck with everything that happens before. Guess what? That's history. That's history. I'm here. I'm opening my present now. Today is my present. Right here, right now. We are in our present. We are in our present. Let's embrace it. Let's celebrate life. Let's celebrate. Don't allow anybody to hold the issues that you have gone through. Don't allow them to be dangling like a carrot. Oh, if you don't do so, oh, because you do so, you can't do this because... No, no, no. No, no. Step up. Honor yourselves. Honor yourselves. Forgive yourselves. Forgive yourselves. So, just a quick recap. We talk about what's the biggest struggles that is holding us back from moving ahead. Allow yourself the space and grace to acknowledge our error. Bam! There it is. There it is. We got to allow ourselves the space and the grace to acknowledge it. And guess what? So eloquently said my sister. And guess what? When we acknowledge our error, ain't nobody got anything to hold over your head. Ain't that the truth? You know it, you say it, ain't nobody got anything else to hold over you. Hey, I know where I've been. I know what I've done. I'm working on me now. You should have seen me yesterday. Be kind to ourselves. We deserve love. Bam. Hey, you should have seen me this morning. I'm not who I was this morning. So take a good look at me now. Because at 10 p.m., I'm not going to look the way you see me now. So take a good look at me. If I'm around for 10 o'clock, I'm not going to look the way I look now. So you better take a good look at me. Take a snapshot. because you're going to want it to compare. Honor who we are. Forgive ourselves so we can move on. Forgive ourselves so we can move on. Yeah, I was doing the recap. So we talk about what's holding you back. What's the biggest struggle? And those who just came in, I don't know if Ruth want to contribute to that. If you have any biggest struggles that been holding you back or that has held you back over your lifetime. Then we talk about self-love. We spoke about vulnerability. And now we are talking about self-forgiveness. So I want to give my sister Ruth an opportunity if she wants to contribute to that part about the biggest struggle that held her back or is holding back. The Most High grants us new mercies each day. We must grant ourselves new mercies as well. Well said. Well said. You know, I always tell people that God is so willing to forgive us. He doesn't hold scores. He doesn't judge us. We are the ones that are holding scores. We are the one that's belittling us. Biggest struggle is procrastination. Whoa, that is a killer. I think everyone can relate to that. And over the years, Ruth, what have you been doing to not allow procrastination to conquer you? And if anybody else in the workshop can relate with that, what have you been doing to not allow procrastination to conquer you? Yeah, Ramona say yes, Lord. All of us, every last one of us can relate, whether we're doing it now or we have done it in the past. Procrastination. Woo. Especially for you religious folks. They are so plugged in to procrastination and they always camouflage it. Oh, I'm going to go on fasting. Or I'm going to go on this and I'm going to go on that. And I always said, no, you're not. You're just procrastinating. Procrastinating. I write goals and then ask a friend of my accountability partner for a particular project. Wonderful. Yes. Getting folks to hold us accountable. Accountability partners, mentors, coaches. Listen, do not ask your family members. Why? Because they don't want to see you achieve goals. They don't have any goals for themselves. So don't ask them to be your coach, your psychologist, your counselor. Don't ask them to be your accountability partner. Get somebody who respects and honors you. Somebody who will help you to achieve the goals that you are looking to achieve. Somebody who will tell you, listen, you've been working at this level for a long time. Don't you think you could step it up a notch? And you'd say, well, oh, I never thought of it. Yeah, thank you for the recommendation. And what? They are helping you to stretch. Because when you are in the picture, you can't, when you are in the frame, you can never see the picture. So we always need someone who is going to help us to stretch and expand. We also need someone who will not tell us what we want to hear, but tell us what we need to hear. All right? So moving right along, let us now look at stepping into our true power. Stepping into our true power. What does that look like for you? Whether you're male or female, what do you consider your true power to be? What do you consider your true power to be? What does it look like? Who does it impact, if it impacts anyone? Your true power, who does it benefit? So I want you guys in the chat to chime in. What do you consider your true power to be? How would you put your true power into words? It benefits you. Expand on that. Expand on that, please. What do you consider your true power to be? Sonia says it benefits you. I want you to expand on that. Your true power, standing in your true power. Another way I could say was standing in your truth, knowing your truth. What comprises your true power? Believing in your true power. So then, let's say you want to speak your true power. What would that sound like? What would it be? Are we looking to other people to give us permission to stand in our true power? What prevents us from standing our true power? Especially us, meaning women and female. What are some of the things that prevents female from standing in our true power? One of the things is a 3-letter word. It's a THREE. Yes, I'm Jamaican. It sounds like I said TREE, but it's T-H-R-E-E, three, right? We Jamaicans say tree, right? Are we looking for permission? Oh, I love you. Are we looking for permission? Ah, three words. I was thinking that I said three letters. If I said three words, my apology. Three letters. A word that has three letters gets into the way of women standing in their true power. A little word. It only has three letters. But let me tell you something. That three-letter word cripples a lot of women. That little three-letter word hinders the progress of a lot of queens. That little three-letter word puts some women out of their minds. That little three-letter word allows some people to lose their identity. That three-letter word lets some people lose their morals and their values. And by so doing, they are not able to stand in their power. I like how you playing it safe. Yeah, lie is one of them, but the one I'm thinking is not lie. It's, well, I don't know which is worse, whether it's that one or the lie. So let me see if any of the other queens are going to come through with it. It's three letters. Yes. Sex. That mess up a lot of people standing in their true power. Standing in their true power. And for some, it's power over, meaning the partner has power over, and because of that, it diminishes their true power. Because there are many queens who will give up themselves for some good sex. They lose everything. They lose their children, their job, everything, because of good sex. We got to be careful. What are we trading? What are we trading? Are we depleting who we are? Are we looking in the wrong places for validation? We got to ask ourselves the right question. Where are we looking for validation? Who are we looking for? We are then trading our powers for sex. Exactly. And guess what? Some of the partners knows that and they use it as manipulation. Manipulation. Folks are losing who they are. They forget that they are powerful individuals. They forget that they were brought into this world for something amazing. They have allowed that little 3-letter word to diminish their values, their why, their calling, their purpose, their mission, their vision. We are talking about standing in your true power. What does it take for you to stand in your true power? And let's say you are no longer standing in your true power, and you can resonate with this. Ask yourself the question, what do I need to do to be able to reposition myself in my true power? What do I need to do? How can I take a positive stand to return to my true position? It takes commitment and morals and self-love. That's right. And discipline and understanding of knowing, hey, I'm important. I'm not saying such and such is not essential to life, but it's not going to strip me of my morals and values and my love for self. We are talking about standing in our true power. We have power. Power for everyone looks different. Discipline, yep, understanding and be able to let things go that will steal our power and our joy. So eloquently said. The spirit had joy for you, Queen. You didn't put it there, but there gets the spirit read joy into that. If you're joining the room, kindly write in English so we know what that is. So, honoring who we are, knowing what it takes for us to continue stepping into our true power. We all make mistakes and we all step out of our power. We all step out. Let us ask ourselves the question, what do I need to do to gain my power? What do I need to do? It takes work. It takes vulnerability in knowing that we need help to get this thing done. I can't do it alone. I got to confide in somebody that I need help. Don't be ashamed to find a therapist if that's something that we need a professional to help us with. Too often, we are ashamed because there's such stigma surrounding getting the help that we need. Please, look after yourselves. Look after yourselves. Be mindful of what we are doing and don't let other things that's not important distract what's important. Exactly. Taking inventory of our life. Taking inventory of our life. You know, once we take inventory of our life, we don't have people dictating to us what they think we ought to do. Why? Because we are keeping track of each other. We are keeping track of each other. We know what's going on. We know what's going on. So, if you are not part of my team, if you're not on my team, you don't have to be giving me advice. You know you can't take advice from everybody. There are some people get up every day and they're about giving advice. They're about giving advice. And you got to know who you allow to speak in your life. Who are you allowing to speak in your life? You got to be careful, because some of what those people are saying is a setup to derail you out of your true power. So don't allow folks to be speaking in your life. You got to stop folks and say, hold on. No. You're not gonna say that. You don't have the right to speak in my life. You don't have the right to speak over my life. No, sir, you don't. I'm telling you, you do not have the right. You got to stop folks before they get out of control. Because you know something, I don't know if you have ever planted mint. Once a mint take over, the mint, the root runs all over and it spreads before you know it. And that's how some people are. You allow them one conversation and one statement. Before you know it, they totally erase your power. And you're wondering, dear God, what happened to me? I remember when I was XYD. Now I'm lethargic. What is happening? Because you allow people to speak over your life who has no right to be speaking over your life. And because of that reason, they rob you of standing in your true power. Rob you of standing in your true power. All right. So I want to pause here for some questions, and then we will continue and we will discuss the other two topics that I have, worthiness and wealth. But now I want to take questions, and no questions are off the table. You can ask me questions. And there was one question someone asked this morning during my live broadcast on TikTok. And I told him that I would write the question down and I would address it in the workshop. So he didn't register for the workshop, I don't think. So I don't know if he's here. However, this was his question. In your opinion, what makes humanity successful? In your opinion, he was asking my opinion. In my opinion, what makes humanity successful? I could give one answer. However, I'm going to expand on that. Too often, people are confused with what success is. And they will say, oh, I'm not successful. So for each human being, they need to take the time to prioritize and identify each step of their success. Meaning, whatever it is you have accomplished over your lifetime, whether it is grandiose or not, know that you are successful. Humankind, humanity, in my opinion, is successful when we begin to respect and honor every human soul. We have no more prejudice, no more judgments, no more hatred, no more wars. We are not shooting and killing each other. So humanity has a lot of work to do. We are working towards it. However, in my opinion, we are not yet successful. Every day, we do a little more. Humanity needs to see every person as one, regardless of their color, ethnicity, sexual orientation. None of those stuff is important when we are looking on the successfulness of humanity. So I don't think that person is here, but in my opinion, in order for humanity to be successful, we need to remove all the labels and we need to just see each other as one human race instead of white, black, Hispanic, Latino, the other one, the other one, the other, the other, the other, the other, the other. Okay? So that is my answer. In my opinion, what makes humanity successful. Okay, so shoot ahead. Ask me any questions you want to ask me, guys. We are at an hour and 33 minutes in. So ask me some questions. I'm seeing we have 5 people here. Go ahead, ask me some questions. I hope you guys didn't fall asleep on me. Anyone has any questions they would like to ask? For those of you that are just joining, you are joining a new year, a new you workshop. And we talk about what are the what's the biggest struggle that's holding you back. We have somebody said letting go, somebody said procrastination. Yeah, procrastination and letting go. And I think blaming was another one. Then we talk about self-love. We talk about vulnerability. We talk about self-forgiveness. And then we just finish up stepping into your true power. All right? So come through with your questions. Queen Sonia, are you there? Ask your question. Who else is there? Ask your questions. Ask me your questions. Listen, you might not get this opportunity again to have me all by yourselves to ask a question. So grab the opportunity. Grab the opportunity. I think, Ruth, are you here? Did you have anything you struggled with? Yes, trust, 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 and procrastination. Procrastination, follow through, and trust. When I just started my business, I was afraid to call people back because I was always telling myself that I did not want to be pushy. They're going to think I'm pushy and that I am looking to sell them something. So I would put all the information down and be waiting. And when I end up building the courage to call them back, hey, what happened? You took so long. I called somebody else. So it took me time to work through that, but it took work. About trust, I always feel that people want to take my material. And for that reason, I was always reluctant in hiring independent contractors because I was thinking they are going to use my material for their other clients. Truth be told, it was not until I did the work and find out that I am walking in my true authentic calling and that nobody can steal my stuff. Because even if they take my written material, they don't have my sweet sauce. They don't have me to deliver it. So you cannot steal that which is authentic. You cannot steal that which is unique. And you cannot steal what somebody else was brought to this world for. And the same thing with procrastination. My coaches helped me over that one. When I began working with coaches, I realized I got to do what I got to do. I can't put it off anymore. Now, today, right now is the present. So all of that is a work in progress. Work in progress. So it doesn't matter what you are going through. Once you make the commitment to do the work, you can overcome it. Like my sister Ruth said, get somebody to hold you accountable. Accountability partner. For me, my accountability partner was my coach and mentor. All right? All right. Thank you for that question. Anybody else have any questions? It is saying that there are 5 people here. Come on through. Ask me the question. Ask me the question. Ask me the question. Sonia, Has it ever been a time when you thought your power was not strong? The truth is no, because I always have a strong will and I stand up for me. And I was always saying, no, 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 back up a little. You are not going to speak those words over me. No, that's not going to happen. And I think it's the island woman in me. I always have a strong conviction of who I am and what I am about. And this is why I invest so much in my personal development. I tell you, Sonia, there were years when I was going to conferences, and after I buy my airplane ticket and register for the conference, I never had money to pay for the hotel room. I remember one year, a friend of mine out of DC, he said, "Oh, I have a suite. You can share the suite with me." He said, "I respect and honor you." And I said, "You sure?" He said, "Yes, I already paid for it." So, and there are 2 beds. So you can have one bed and I will have the other. And let me tell you something. We were at that conference for 5 days. The only place I saw that man was down in the dining room when we go for meals. He would go in before me, shower, do what he has to do, and when I get up there, he's always in his bed. And he would leave early in the morning and give me privacy to dress and to go down. And I tell you, I always appreciate him doing that. And he was coming to Connecticut for an event. I said, "Listen, you're welcome to stay at my home because I remember when you did for me." And brace yourself. He was married and he said, "Listen, I'm not going to tell my wife," because he said, "My wife is not the kind of woman like you." He said, "My wife don't believe that there are people honorable and trustworthy in the world." And he said, "I'm not going to tell her that I'm splitting the room with you." I said, "That's all right with me." And everybody I tell that story, they say, "Wow, you stay in the room with a man?" I say, "Yes, I did." Because you know what? I knew my friend was honorable. I didn't have to be afraid. I trusted him. I respected him, and he respected me. And I know neither of us would cross the line. So I'm sharing that, Sona, to let you know we do what it is, whatever it is that we need to do, we do that to maintain our power. I invest in me. I tell you, girl, there's sometime I go to those conferences, and those were the days before COVID. They would have breaks with the fruit platters. And guess what? I would take some of that and I put it in my tote bag so that I would have something to eat at dinner time. Because lunch is always provided at the conference. But after the conference, you have to go out at restaurants to eat. And when other people would be inviting me to come out to the restaurant, I said, no, I have to go make some phone calls because I'm not going to be home for 5 days. Guess what? I just didn't have the funds at that time to go. But I know every year when you're at that conference, they would offer pre-registration for the next year. So you would be able to register for $99 to go to the conference next year. Exactly. And I always grab my registration. So when I get back home, I know now I work on my airfare. But it was sometimes when I didn't have the funds for the hotel, but I was going to find a way to let that happen. Yes, indeed, Brandon. Honorable man. Honorable man. And there are not too many of those around. That is why we got to use a sense of discernment. I am a good character of people, judge of somebody's character. Spiritually, I connect with them. I remember there was somebody at the church that I went to, and somebody said to me, oh, I notice you always kissing Pastor Al on the lips. I said, so? I say, he know who he is. I know who I am. His wife knows who I am. And we respect each other. There was nothing going on. Because there are some folks who don't even trust who they are. All right? We are doing questions. Glad to see you come back, Mr. Brandon. Please, shoot. What's your question for me, my friend? What's your question for me? We're doing questions now, and then we go back and discuss the two last things, worthiness and wealth. Question, please. Question, please. Great question, Sonia. Thank you, Queen. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. We are at 1 hour and 48 minutes. What age was you when you finally figured out that you wanted to do in life? And as far as being a motivational speaker and helping others. Are you ready for this, Sonia? Well, when I graduated nursing school, okay, I was back home in Jamaica. And when I'm working and it was my turn to do medication, I am always talking with the patients. I'm giving the meds, but I have to stand there before I give you the meds, before I say, oh, Miss Thompson, can you sit up for your meds? I would say, Miss Thompson, how are you? Who came to visit you yesterday? I was off. What did you do when I was off? And I got into a whole discussion. So the medicine that is supposed to take an hour or 45 minutes was taking me 2 hours and something. Because what? I had to talk to everybody. And my co-workers always say, Clarke-Hudson, what in God's earth you have to talk to everybody about? It takes the rest of us 45 minutes to do the meds. It's taking you over 2 hours because you have to talk to everybody. What you talking about so? And I always say, I don't know. I have to talk to the people. Little did I realize I wasn't just seeing them as patients who was diagnosed with an illness. I was ministering to their humanity. I saw them as individuals, not their diagnosis. Right? So I did that all through my career. Then I got in Jamaica, you can get what is known as secondment, meaning you can leave from one government agency to another. So I got out of nursing and to go into what is called as the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission. That was where I was working with people in different parishes to identify what their skills and talents were and to help them to magnify that. They would have fairs and they're baking and whatever, they're cooking and stuff like that. They would exhibit it and win prizes. So I was working with that. I didn't know anything about personal development, motivational speaking, and all of that. I was just doing what came naturally to me. Okay? Well, here I come to America. And coming to America, moving to Connecticut, I went to a retreat put on by a woman called Iris Randall. And she used to work for a company called Carlson Learning Institute. They developed the DISC modality, which is like Myers-Briggs. And I went to a retreat Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And when I did the summary for the DISC, it showed that I was a motivator. I said to Iris, something is wrong with this because I don't think I answered it correctly. So can I order the one that is generated from the computer? She said, yes, but that's an extra $199. I said to her, no problem. I gave her the check. She ordered it for me. Well, when it came in 3 weeks in my nice little blue binder with transparent cover, I flipped straight to the back to see the summary. And what you know, you cannot run from who you are. Bam, it said there, I am a motivator. And I'm thinking, oh man, it said the same thing that I got. So then I went through and I read everything else that it says. So that was the first inclination about me being a motivational speaker and all of that. So then I went to hire my first coach, a white man. First coach in Danbury, Connecticut. I hired this white man. I go to him for my first session. I'm sitting in the chair and I'm talking based on what he asked me, and he's writing and he's writing. And so now I got excited because I'm thinking, whoo, John is going to be able to help me now. I'm excited because he's writing a lot of stuff. And then we'll pause 15 minutes into the conversation. He paused and he said to me, "Why aren't you doing what I do?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You see everything on this paper?" And back then, I don't know if anybody in the workshop knows those long yellow legal pad with the lines. He has filled up 2 sheets of that. He said, "You see this? Everything I wrote here is what I learned from you the past 15 minutes. And I am going to use them with my clients." He said, "You should be doing what I do. You should be a coach." He said, "You're a natural." I said, "Huh?" And I'm looking. He said, "Well, you can use me as a sounding board. But the truth is, I can't teach you nothing because you know more than me. You are not going to get your money back, so you can keep coming every Thursday evening." I had hired him for 3 months. He said, "I'm not giving you the check back. You keep coming for 3 months." And he was always so excited. So with that happening, Sonia, and with the summary I got from the disc from Carlson Learning Institute, that was my first inclination that I need to step out and do this business. So I formed my business, Clarke-Hudson and Associates, while I was working part-time with United Way. I formed my company, and I also signed up to become a consultant with the Carlson Learning Institute, and was able to use their modalities. So that's how I signed up. And then I found the Coaching Institute. I don't know if you know the book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, Dr. Shad Hemstetter. He's like the grandfather of coaching. What to say when you talk to yourself. And that's how I transitioned out. I became part of the training institute with Dr. Shad Hemstetter. I became certified with them. I became one of their master coaches that was helping to train other coaches. And that's how I step out into doing what I'm supposed to do. But to back up to Sonia, even back then, I wasn't honoring my intuitiveness. But when John said to me that I know more than he did, was because everything would flow from me naturally. I wouldn't have to think about what to say. It just flowed. I opened my mouth. It was like opening my faucet. All right? I hope that helped you. Who is your hero? I look towards Rosa Parks. I like her strength. I like her stamina. I'm coming back to you. And my mother, too is my hero. Although my mother died when I was 13 and a half, I see her as my hero. So Rosa Parks and Mama. Okay? Did you ever become overwhelmed as far as your business and projects? Honestly, no, not overwhelmed, because I am passionate about what I do. I am so committed to everything I do. And one of the struggles I have with my coaches is that they keep roping me in and keep reminding me this is a business. You need to allow the people to pay you, because I have thousands and thousands of dollars out there of people that I have served who have not paid me, and people who are making a lot of money based on what I have taught them. Yet they have not honored me to pay me. And I always say, how can I have the ability to help them and not help them? So I'm never overwhelmed with my work, Sonia. I'm passionate about it. I get plugged in, and I'm just so excited about getting up the next day to do it. And especially this leg that I'm on now, I am super pumped about it. So thank you for the question. Anybody else have any questions? We are at 2 hours now, doing wonderful. So I'll take 2 or 3 more questions, and then we're going to go to the last 2 topics. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for coming. I'm glad that I did decide to do this workshop and invite you guys. Those who did not register, they don't know what they miss. So let me know if you have any more questions. I appreciate your participation. I appreciate your participation and involvement. Any questions? Any more questions? Mr. Brandon, any more questions? Any more questions? Miss Sonia, any more questions? I think the other folks, the other folks left. Last call. Any more questions, please? I just want to say you're awesome and amazing and smart, and I am honored to be in your circle to keep learning from. Oh, thank you, Queen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, we all are brilliant. We just need to have the confidence to just step out and to start. That's all it takes. One day to start, and to find somebody who can guide us and lead us. We all have our brilliance. We all have our brilliance. But thank you for the honor. I am so blessed to have you too. And I so strongly believe that the universe brings the right people in our path that we need. Your words today, with the questions I ask, you really touch me. Wonderful. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Thank you, Queen. You know something? It's all about obedience, because when no one had signed up for the workshop, I could have said I wasn't going to do it, but I know the true reason I was doing it was to add value. Yes, I need to earn the revenue to do what needs to be done. However, I know that the universe wanted me to share this knowledge and this wisdom with folks. And at 5:30 I said, I'm going to call my moderators. I'm going to send them a message to join in and to share this knowledge with them. Because you all commit time to me. And if there's one time I can add value, I wanted to do that. And I'm glad that you were able to come on and join this. All right. Any other questions? I think I said last call before. I'm going to say last call again. Last call for questions. Questions going once, going twice. It shows me I can trust my life journey and keep my power. Never let it go. And I'll always trust myself. Wonderful, Queen. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Every experience we have had, whether there were struggles or obstacles, we need to embrace them and to move ahead. Last call, you know when you used to go to the bars and they want to close and they do the light like that? You know the bar is going to close. It's time to order your last drink. I'm flicking the light now. Last call for questions. Last call for questions. Last call for questions. Okay. I guess Mr. Brandon is gone. So he lost that. No more questions for you. All right. Worthiness. What are what are some of the things that gets into the way of us thinking we are not worthy? What are some things that gets into the way of thinking that we are not worthy? I know a big thing is having a child out of wedlock. Having a child out of wedlock. That used to be a big thing. Now, I don't know now if it is. I know that people who had children out of wedlock, it would be a stigma for them. And if they got pregnant while they were in the church, yes, that was my answer. Wow. Yeah. So many people, if they got pregnant while they're in the church, it used to be a stigma. Now I don't know if it is such a stigma because they were thinking you're evil for getting pregnant or for having sex while you are a Christian. So that is one of the things that let people feel that they are not worthy. Having a child while you're not married. The other thing is that we call it dancing and going to parties and things like that. Used to be a big thing. What are some things that causing people to think they're not worthy? Where some people where they live, I know for some people, I remember when I used to work in Danbury at the Housing Authority, that, yeah, some people that live in the projects, they didn't want people to know that that's where they live when you in abusive relationship. Yes, when you're in an abusive relationship, let you feel unworthy. And guess what? You don't have anybody to talk to about it. And sometimes they say, well, you brought it on yourself. Why did you do that? You brought it on yourself. And because of that, there are some women that stays in that abusive relationship and they suffer before they get help. I used to volunteer for the Women's Center in Danbury. And let me tell you something. Oh, some women, I'm talking about executive women who would come, and also when you feel family is not there for you. Exactly. There were women who were coming there disguised. I'm talking about executive women with executive husbands that is abusing them and they feel worthless. Worthless. And they wouldn't even think of leaving. And like Sonia said, when you feel family is not there for you, because some of the family, they'll say things like, oh, you brought it on yourself. You brought it on yourself. Hey, Brandon, I don't know. I can't see what you typed there, my friend. Oh, thanks, Doc. Yeah, where you was? I was asking if you had any question, and I didn't see you, so I did the thing like you're at the bar. I flicked the light, and you didn't come. So I imagine you didn't have any question. Yes. So worthiness, not anymore. I don't have any fears anymore. Thank you, Jesus. No more. I don't have any fears no more. I'm a beast when it comes to risk taking. No fears. No fears no more. You should know I don't have no fears. I'm 74 and just got uprooted and planted somewhere new. So I don't have any fears anymore. My concern is whether it go back to the question the guy asked about, in your opinion, what makes humanity successful? And I wouldn't call it a fear, but it's a concern that humanity is going to continue with all of the hate, judgment, and all of that. So I see it as a concern, but as not as a fear. Okay? Amen. Amen. Queen has no fears. My queen had no fears. Yeah, I know what you meant. That's okay. Yeah. It took me That's what you ask. What is your biggest fear? I answered that already. Why is it repeating itself? Why is it repeating itself? I answer Brandon. I don't have any fear. I have converted my fear into faith. And it takes work. Every day I get up, I have to be doing the work. Inside work. I'm doing the 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 work. And it's not easy. And doing this work is lonesome. It's lonesome. But thank God I'm not living in fear anymore. If I was living in fear, I would not be sitting right where I am right now. Okay? So, back we're talking about worthiness. And yes, the abusive relationship is one of the biggest things that is letting people know they're not feel they are not fearful. You didn't answer my question. You're only looking at Facebook. What's your question, Brandon? You asked me what's your biggest fear. Wasn't that what's your question? That's what I saw. Did I miss something else? Oh Lord, what is that? No, I have no idea what that is. What is that, Brandon? You didn't answer my question. You're only looking at your Facebook. No, I'm looking at the YouTube. It says, what is your biggest fear? FEAR. And I said to you, I no longer have any fears. You didn't answer my question. You're only looking at Facebook. I'm here. What the heck? I see you, Brandon. Why you being a spoiled little brat? What was your question, my friend? I've been asking a question. What question? I've been asking a question. You don't even look at YouTube. I'm looking at the YouTube and I'm reading what you wrote, Brandon. You asked me what is my biggest fear. And I said I no longer have any fear. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on, Brandon. What is going on? Okay, let's continue. I don't know. I answered your question. And not being expected as you are. Not being accepted as you are. Yeah, I don't Sonia, did you see any other question that Brandon wrote other than what's your biggest fear? Because that's the question he asked. I'm taking over questions, Queen. I'm sorry. I'm not being accepted. Oh, okay. All right. Let me get on track here. So, yes, we're talking about worthiness for people not accepting who you are. Again, Brandon, if you have another question, write it. I don't know, Brandon. And you didn't answer the question. You haven't been looking. I'm looking at YouTube when it comes up, Brandon. I can't make any mistake. Now you're on Facebook, but I was reading. Are you not hearing what I'm saying on what you call it, on YouTube? The red thing is YouTube and the blue thing is Facebook, my friend. You said hello and you said you didn't even look at your YouTube. Oh, I don't know, Brandon. You know, I can't get in all the technical stuff. I just finally see him out past there. I don't know. I just finally see him on here just now. Oh, okay. He probably was saying, and you didn't answer my question at the YouTube. Okay, again, my apologies because I did not see it. I answered when I saw it. That's why I kept asking you if you had any questions. So bear with me because I'm not the technical savvy. I'm not technically savvy. And here I get into the talking, and I was so glad that my computer worked when I plugged it in today. All right, so my apologies again. Let's continue. So now you're both places, Brandon. You're on Facebook and YouTube. Oh no, no, he's not on YouTube. Yeah, I don't see anything on YouTube now. Anyhow, okay. All right. Have a great night, Daphne. I have other important things to tend to too. Thank you. Okay, you're very welcome, Brandon. All right. I'm not sure what that was about, but anyhow. Okay. So I have a wonderful night. I appreciate you coming. Thank you so very much. All right. So we're talking about worthiness. And so we talk about being abusive and not being accepted for who we are, people not accepting us. And one of the other things too, it has to do with academic qualifications. Some people think because they don't have a college degree or they didn't go to high school or any of that, that they are not worthy of the success and the things that they are blessed with. All right. The other thing too, obesity. That some people are obese and they are thinking, I'm not worthy. I'm less. I am less than. I'm less than deserving or worthy about anything like that. All right. So any other okay, Brandon gone. So it's just you, Sonia. Any Any other thing that has to do with worthiness? Again, take inventory. Take inventory of our life. Take inventory of your life. Ask yourself, what do I need to tweak? What do I need to work on? And pay attention to those things. Stay committed to those things. Honor yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Put yourself on a pedestal. Because if you don't honor and you respect yourself, who else is going to do that? Who else? Nobody. Only you can do that for yourself. And you're worthy. You're a child of the universe. Our Father did not make anybody mediocre. Each and every one of us, we are worthy because we are brilliant. We are the child of the King. So stop allowing people to put you in a box. Stop allowing people to tear you apart and to label you. Please, don't allow people to do that to you. And one of the ways to stop that is to call people on their stuff. Call them on the stuff. Don't take it and say, oh, and next time. No, you address it right now. You know, you say something about me. I didn't like it. I did not like it. I need you to explain what you meant by such and such. Now, the last thing we want to talk about is another W word, and it's wealth. So in this workshop, I covered what is the biggest struggle that's holding you back. Talk about self-love, vulnerability, self-forgiveness, stepping in your true power. Questions you brought up. One question was posed by somebody on the live this morning. In your opinion, what makes humanity successful? And then as you look through the broadcast comments, you will see all the great questions that was posed by the participants that was on the live. We just spoke about worthiness and some of the things what has caused us to feel unworthy. And now we're going to look on wealth. Wealth. And I want to ask the people who are still here on the chat, how would you describe wealth? How would you describe wealth? Wealth. How would you describe wealth? What does wealth mean for you? 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 Anybody here? Anybody here? Anybody here? Anybody here? What is wealth? What is wealth? How do you define wealth? Nay, nay, just money, but more to me, smarts and wealth as far as your words. Wealth, yes. So wealth is more than money. Absolutely right. Wealth is more than money. Wealth comprises of our well-being. Wealth comprises of our wisdom and our knowledge. Wealth is not only material things. It's a combination. But let me tell you something. Some of the wealthiest people don't have any money in the bank. But they have joy, they have love, they have respect. They are doing for others. They are not stingy in showing their love. They do for others. Look at Mother Teresa. She was humble, but she was wealthy, not because of money, but because of the services that she has done. Let us look in our lives and see if we can say we are wealthy. Each and every day that I click the live that I go on, I consider myself wealthy. Because you know what? This morning, I was on for 2 hours. And when I end my live, 4,200 people went through that live. People from all over the world. That is wealth. So although I'm working on my financial situation, I'm working on building financial resources and financial wealth, the services and the impact that I make on life makes me wealthy. Each and every day that somebody sit and listen to what I have to say makes me wealthy. I'm passing on a wealth of information. So please, take your eyes off the dollar signs. Look on all of the blessings that you have bestowed on people or in people's lives. Look at your accomplishments. I oftentimes ask my clients to get a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle. On one side, I want you to list all of your accomplishments, and I'm going to tell you guys to do it too. Whether you listen to the recording or you are on here live. Get a sheet of paper. Draw a line down the middle. On one side, list your failures. On the other side, list your accomplishments. You are going to surprise yourself, because a lot of time people say, oh, I'm not successful, I'm not wealthy. And they start right on the accomplishment side and they can't stop. And they say, wow, I never saw myself in this light. Never saw myself in this light. So know that your wealth is not tied up into your financial situation. Your success has nothing to do with your finances, and your wealth does not either. Look on the impact that you have on somebody's life. Are you able to pass a word of encouragement onto somebody else? Are you able to encourage somebody who is down and depressed? Are you able to say to them, lift your head up, hold your chin high? You will be all right. Take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. So as you work on creating a new you, a new year, a new you, it is my intention that you will take this information from this workshop and use it to catapult your life. Hey, Miss Ramona, you missed the question segment. But thank you for coming back. Know that everything you do, every little iota of what you do makes you successful, makes you wealthy. Separate your money, your finances, separate those things from your wealth and your success. Put everything into perspective. I said, put everything into perspective. Every day. Take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. What they say, the concert is not finished until the fat lady sings, right? So let us make a commitment and allow our fat lady to sing, because she has a chorus. She has a chorus. She has a chorus. And her chorus needs to be heard all over the world. All over the world. So I'm hoping that you are able to get some information from here that you'll find valuable. I pray that those who will hear the replay will find value in it as well. Again, I am going to ask if anybody have any questions. I know we said we're going to go till 9. I have completed what I have here to say. I don't know if anybody have any more questions. If not, we will wrap it up. I want to ask everyone who hear that, please leave a comment. I will go on all of the platforms and I will read what is said. Those of you who are still here, if you would be kind enough to just express how you felt about this workshop. Was it worth your while to attend? Just put that in there. Again, I thank you for coming. I'm glad I invested the time. Thank you, Ramona, for helping the way you did. And I'm just excited that you were able to be here. I will be coming back to replay for what I missed. Okay, wonderful, wonderful Queen. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. So please don't forget to I learned a lot. Thanks, Queen. You did an awesome job. Ah, thank you, Queen. Thank you so very much. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for showing up and hanging out with me. So, for those of you who are catching the replay, I'm Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson. I am a spiritual healer. I am your why and soul purpose coach, mentor, and consultant. And this is the conclusion of the A New Year, A New You workshop. And it was my intention to have diverse attendees. It did not happen that way. But was I blessed by the people who showed up and their questions and their participation and their involvement? And who knows? We'll see if the Spirit have this going on. Maybe once a quarter, we'll do a workshop for the moderators, just so we can add some value for them. So I'll ask the universe about that and see if once a quarter we can do that for the moderators. All right. So we did good. We were 2 hours and 42 minutes. So we almost made it to 3 hours. I was truly blessed and will be doing my homework. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. So we'll see if we can always. I'll work with the universe to say once a quarter. Have a good night, Queen. You too, my darling. Have a wonderful night. Okay? Love you guys. Stay blessed. And I will see you on the next broadcast. Love you guys. Love you. Bye. Love you too.